Welcome back to the channel, everyone, and today we have another kind of Neuro and Vedal video. This is from Staz, and it's Vedal paid Ellie for the Neuro car. Part of it, I was a little confused during the initial video, that it was about the little remote control car. And yeah, I'm aware that Vedal paid her for that one, right? She didn't want to accept the money. There was a lot of confusion on my end. There still kind of is. But there's also a real car in the works. So that one's going to be very interesting. And I know Ellie doesn't want to be paid for that, but she should probably take like a joint effort on that one, even if it does fail. But, you know, that's just like a personal opinion. I think it was very interesting to talk about. Anyway, enjoy. You lagged. You're awful. It's obviously not my connection. Who knows, actually? Actually, I keep getting text messages recently about my connection. They're like, sorry, there's issues with your internet in the area. We're trying to fix it. And I'm like looking around. I'm like, I haven't had any issues. All right, let's watch this one. It is Vedal paid Ellie for the Neuro car.
And I can't do that until I find a place with like a lift and a lot of land and like a car that I can afford. But I'm thinking of just taking on dumb sponsorships for a little bit. Like just taking sponsorships where I'm like, I'm sorry guys, but at the end of it, we'll have a car, you know?
I mean, what sponsor would be like, I want to take a dumb sponsorship. You just called my company dumb. Why the fuck would I want to work with you? To be fair, a lot of sponsorships honestly would. I actually have a sponsorship request right now for, what's this Star Trek one? It's like Star Trek Fleet Command or something like that. So I'm like, yeah, we could do a sponsorship for that one, I guess.
Yeah,
I think that's good.
Yeah, just to fund it.
Yeah. I think people would forgive me, right?
Anything's better than
right,
Temu.
Bugs, you'd forgive
Yeah,
me.
well, they'll understand, especially if
100%.
you have a talk to them first and be like, hey guys, expect some more sponsored streams. I'm funding the car project. They'll be
Yeah.
like, all right, bet!
Yeah.
We're gonna give her a real car because she proved that she could use the small one responsibly.
Oh, this is for the real car. This isn't for the little one. This is for the real car that they want to do. Okay, let me see here. Okay, all right. We'll probably watch the fish one then. Oh, wait. Oh, that's iffy on Twitch. I'll think about it.
I'm so excited for that. I want to see that.
Thank you for
Put
watching that
sponsors
for me,
on
though.
the car. Wait, that's so cute. Oh my god.
Oh.
Wait, actually, yeah. Actually, oh my god, wait, that's a really good idea. I think that would work really well. If you can get some,
I don't know if sponsors would want to be on a real car, by the way. Because if you think about it, for like a real car, if your car is wrapped in a bunch of sponsorships and then Neuro smashes it into a school bus, are you gonna want to be connected to that? I mean, just from a, like, I know they want to test her out in like a middle of a field or a massive giant parking lot, but just think about that if she was ever like allowed onto a real road, and let's say she acted totally fine for like the first 500 hours of testing, and then just randomly she's like, I want to hit this bus. Would you have any way to stop that? I mean, oh yeah, a Red Bull collab could work actually. I could see that maybe happening. Because at least Red Bull, their shit's like controlled in certain ways. Although I've seen some of their crazy shit where like people were like, they're driving down like a highway and not telling anyone as people are like using a bike and doing flips and shit on it. And people are just driving by and they're like, what the fuck is this shit? I mean, for a real car though, so this would be interesting. I guess if it's in a controlled setting and never on an open road, you're probably fine.
because like in like for, okay, so my friend's really into F1 and like on their cars, on their like uniforms and stuff, there's always like so many different sponsors. So I think NeuroCar, if there's just like some sponsors on it, that would be really good and that would help.
I mean, yeah, that's the thing though. Like, if I was a company and I was asked if I wanted to sponsor a potentially unhinged AI, I would have reservations. I'd be like, it sounds cool. I want to do it. Maybe, especially with a real car, right? And they'd be like, maybe we sponsor a remote control car. Could we do that? Because that sounds like it'd be more fun. You guys like drones? How about a little drone? Can we sponsor that? Like, a real car has a bunch more liabilities, right? Most companies would be like, no. I'm sorry, just no.
Yeah, just like the motorsport. Now I want
Imagine
now I want to
insurance
see
for
like
that.
fan art of like of Neuro in F1.
Yo, in like the F1 outfit with like all the sponsors.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
We could draw, I guess I could draw Neuro in an F1 like sponsorship type thing. That could be fun. That might be an interesting stream.
This would be so cute.
That'd be so cute.
So far, I've only
Dude,
drawn
she's so
Vedal's back.
adorable. Oh my god.
You did so good
Twice.
on the car and everything from what I heard. And
I
like
love
the
the
clips and
bow.
stuff.
Oh, and I drew a new pirate emote. So if you're a subscriber, you have the new pirate emote. Although there's also a free one on here, but I didn't draw that one. That one was AI.
It was so cute. I love the bows. And I actually didn't I didn't know that you were making it like a smaller version first. So you were like NeuroCard open source. I was like, oh my god! And then I was like, oh my gosh,
no!
That could work, I suppose.
Yeah, until Neuro commits vehicular manslaughter while glammed up with Salesforce logo.
Yeah, see, Ellie gets it. She would totally fucking run over someone. Imagine Vedal going to prison for that. Why are you in prison, kid? My AI ran over 16 children. I'm sorry. It's okay though. I'm in the UK. I'll get out of prison in about 6 months, maybe 4.
Did I keep the car? No, it had to stay. It had to stay on the West Coast because it cost more to ship it than it would to buy another.
Right.
Really?
Yeah. Big, huge, bigger than.
I mean, that car. Well, okay. So I guess what she could have done is she could just ripped out all the tech inside of it. That would have been easier than just move it into the next car, right?
She looks.
Probably what she did, actually.
They had her on the highway, guys. She's out there. They let her.
I also want to say everyone can get off of my butt because Vedal did pay me for her. I said that he couldn't over and over again, and then he just like sent me the money, and he was
Yeah.
like, "Don't send it back, or my accountants will be mad at me."
I doubt accountants care in this case, but whatever.
I was like, I don't want to make his accountants mad at him.
See, that's a really good way to make people accept your money.
I mean, he could have written it off, I guess, in taxes, depending on how that worked. So it would technically be a business expense. So yeah, I mean, maybe his accountants would have been mad because he basically earmarked it for that.
Just be like, it's out of my hands now, and if you do it, I'm gonna be it's gonna be harming me in a specific way.
Yeah, so he did
that
pay
you
for
feel
the
bad
materials on this one.
That's good.
Yeah. And I feel like that's appropriate. I feel like, honestly, once something, like, works and has been used to create content, then I'm a little bit more okay with, like, sharing the cost of parts. But, like, until that time, like, I'm not going to let him fund something that might not work, you know? Or that might not, like...
I mean, I think what Ellie would need to do here is she should really go 50-50 for a lot of these things. That way, you know, people are... A lot of people really like to have like 50-50 ownership of any sort of main project that they're working on. Whereas if it's just like only her funding it, now she seems like the nicest person ever, right? And wouldn't like demand any sort of credit or not necessarily credit. I'm not sure how I would say this because of how nice she actually is, or at least appears in real life on stream. She could be a crazy psycho in private, but probably not. But it's just a lot of people would rather do a 50-50 split because it protects everyone involved. If you, but maybe that's just from like a business standpoint. Like I would always do a 50-50 split if I could. Because a lot of people necessarily, let's say someone's working with me on a stream or something like that, and I fund everything. Well, that technically gives me more power and control over the project as a whole because I'm funding the entire thing myself. And a lot of people don't necessarily want to work with other people if they potentially have a perceived higher, power ability within the project. And that's probably not what's going on here, just based off of what I can gather from, this type of stream group. But it is rare that it works like this. There's not a lot of streamers or just any sort of project in general that would allow someone to do 100% and not get, do a 50-50 split, just from a bunch of different standpoints. But I understand, how nice a lot of the streamers are when they probably shouldn't be.
Work for content.
Just from a safety standpoint.
I'm gonna do the whole NeuroCar thing on my own dollar. Afterwards, if it works and we get good content out of it, maybe I would let him cover some of it. But
of course, you're gonna get good content out of a real car. Do you know how insane that would be? I mean, assuming you don't kill anyone. I mean, even if you did kill someone, you'd still get a lot of good content out of it. It'd be bad content, but it'd still be good. If you think about it. Now, in her case, if she's covering the whole car cost, like the initial car, that also, because of the type of content it's going to produce, it reduces liability if only one person is doing it. So that way you're not screwing over multiple streamers potentially in a bigger project. So there is a reason absolutely to do it yourself. You're less likely to have, you're able to have more control over the project, right? So that would be one reason to do it like this. But, there, I guess there's back and forth on this one, depending on how and what type of project it is and whether it could accidentally kill someone.
Till then, I'm fronting the cost because I don't want him to pay for something that doesn't wind up working,
That's so much money, though. For the real car, that's such a big investment.
It's fine. We'll just take a bunch of stupid sponsorships.
I mean, I guess it depends on the car, right? You can buy a car for $2,500 that barely runs. It doesn't need to run a lot. I guess the biggest thing is it would actually have to be a car that already has some tech in it potentially. So maybe we're looking at more like $10,000. I guess it depends on how they run the tech. You can get a garbage beater car for $2,500 with 200,000 miles on it. But can you get one that has enough tech that allows Neuro to run and control it for $2,500? Probably not. Maybe. I know. You should rent a car from Hertz. Well, yeah, a Tesla would probably work. Well, no, actually, maybe not. I don't think a Tesla would work because the red and yellow kids car. Yeah, those could work. Yeah, but no, but Tesla wouldn't work because Tesla locks down their software. You can't even modify their software without them attempting to basically you brick the thing. Tesla would be so annoying. Not to mention even a used Tesla. Maybe you do the Cybertruck because that way it doesn't matter if it breaks. I'm thinking something along the lines of a Prius maybe, or and what's that one car? The Nissan Leafs. Maybe the Nissan Leaf. I don't know if it probably wouldn't have to be an electric car. It probably just would have to have some sort of ability to control the. It would have to have a parking assist in it, right? It wouldn't have to have a ton of tech, but it would have to have something that can control the wheels and help park or move or whatever. So it would. I don't know if you could rig something. I guess unless you could rig it directly to to the steering wheel column, and then that would be different. Tesla. If we're talking about exploding cars, technically regular cars explode more often than even most EVs in general. It's just there's a lot less EVs on the road. Just percentage-wise, EVs have a worse track record. And those are probably more down to batteries. Yeah. Okay, real quick, I have a Ford Escape 2013. It just sits in my garage. It doesn't do anything. But I got a recall on it, and I called Ford about it, and they're like, yeah, there's no part for this thing. I'm like, okay, so how do I fix it? They're like, just break it with a hammer. I'm like, okay, but how do I fix the part? Yeah, we're not going to fix that part. I'm like, okay. They're like, yeah, if you break it with a hammer, the warning just stops popping up. I'm like, is this like a legitimate fix? And they're like, yeah, we'll send you an email saying that this is a legitimate fix. I'm like, great. Thanks.
thought you were
Osh Park,
about to say
sponsor me.
Lawns, and I was a little
No!
bit concerned.
No, Osh Parks, sponsor me. I use your horrible PCBs. Make it worth my while.
Don't call them horrible yet.
Oh yeah, they're good actually.
No, they're not.
I like how the pads stay attached to the board. And I like
haven't
how
really. I'm not a
they're
car
not
person.
oxidized when they arrive.
Yeah, so get on the sponsorship, guys. Hear that she loves you.
What do you mean? Never used it? I have never changed the oil in my car. Well, let alone a tire.